Today we're going to talk about how to build a culture of winners. My name is Michael Barive. I was able to build a team of 150 plus sales guys in less than 2.5 years. We did that with zero money invested. And now we have a lot of companies that are growing like crazy from coast to coast, like butter on toast. So let's talk about building a culture. One of the number one things about creating a successful company is about the culture. It's about how the people interact with one another when you're not physically there. That's what a culture really is what people do, what people say, what people think when you are not around. It's very, very, very important to understand that. So I'm going to give you guys 8 tips on how to build a proper culture. Okay, 8 tips, right? Number 1, you need to understand that when you are talking about culture, it's always about the values that you instill as the leader. What are your values? Do you even know your values? Have you sat down and said, okay, this is important to me. This is important to me. This is not so important to me. For example, one of the things that are important to me is integrity, right? So if integrity is a very important thing for you, you need to talk about those values. Put it up on the board and talk about it. Don't just have it in a mission statement, but you have to talk about it on a consistent basis, right? Number 2, you have to live by those values. You see, if you want to have your team be great at work ethic, right? So for example, let's say one of your values is hard-working work ethic. You're a great work ethic, great individual. You want to go out there and pound it till, let's say, 8 o'clock at night. If you are not willing to do that yourself, if you're not living by that example, why should your team be that example? Why should your team live up to that standard? You as the leader have to create that standard. It's not about the team doing it. It's about you as the leader stepping forward, being the first person to create that culture, create that value, live by that value, and now people are going to want to follow suit. And the ones that do not, what will end up happening, they're going to end up quitting and end up leaving the company. So you don't want to keep every single person in your company. I don't want everyone to stick around me forever. I just want them to come in. If they're not a good fit, by accident, we hired the wrong person with the wrong values, get the hell out. But the ones that love the values, love the culture, the way that we're building it, stick around, right? So number 2, you got to live by those values. Number 3, recognize the values, right? And give people recognition on who's following them. So if, for example, you see someone working really hard, and that's one of your values, recognize people in front of the group. Don't just recognize them in private and say, good job, Joey. No, in front of everyone. Guys, I just want to say today, Joey did an amazing job. He finished work today at 9 o'clock. When he was supposed to finish at 6, he finished at 9 o'clock. He went the extra mile. Here's an extra $100 bonus. Oh, he got a bonus? Yeah, because he did something that was valuable to the company. He may have not created any kind of result, but he lived by that value, right? Or he may have a situation where one rep was helping another rep by driving him home late at night, and you found out. Perfect, you recognize that. When you recognize it in the open, it shows other people that this is important to you and your company. Now people want to follow that, and they want to duplicate that, and they want to emulate that. Now you are building a culture, okay? Number 4, have people focus on the bigger picture. You see, when you want to create a nice culture, it's not about the small shit. You see, if you focus on the small stuff, there's going to be a lot of gossip, a lot of bullshit, a lot of drama, and you don't want that. You want to have the team focus on a bigger vision. What's the big picture? What are you guys chasing? What is the vision of the company? What are you guys trying to accomplish? What if your goal is it's not about just goals about money, but what are you guys really trying to make the world, and how are you trying to make the world a better place with your product or service, with your business? You see, a business is not just about making money. A business is about how can you take your service and your product to the world, change their life, solve their problem, help them, serve them, make them better, have a better life for them, and you guys did that with a team of people, and now you did that, now you get a reward, which is money. That is the mindset. So when you have something important in your company, talk about it. What's the vision? Where do you guys see yourself? What's the big picture? What are you guys trying to accomplish? And talk about that on a consistent basis, right? Number 5, create a system for handling conflict. You want to have a great culture? You have to have a system for for continuous conflict. There will always be conflict. When you're dealing with people, there's issues. There's conversations. There's crucial conversations. There's a great book on that, by the way. But how do you handle the crucial conversations and all the conflicts as a leader? Do you ignore it? Do you let them figure it out on their own? Do you have a process to that? Do you have a system for that? I had a system for how to handle all of my conflicts in my business. There's another video about that. Put in Crucial Conversations with Michael Barive. You'll find it. It's an amazing video, right? But you have to have a system for handling these kind of conflicts. Number 6, all right? Create an environment, right, where people eliminate those, right? They eliminate those and reject people that are not part of the vision. Like I was telling you earlier, I want people to join the company. If they don't fit the vision, get the fuck out. Because sometimes, I wish I could hire everyone and be perfect, right? But we make mistakes. We don't know. In an interview, 1 hour, 2-hour interview, you don't really know who that person is. But after a week, after a month, you realize, holy shit, this guy said he was a workaholic. He's lazy as shit. And if your culture is about working hard, that person has to either quit on his own, which a lot of times they won't, or B, you have to have your team peer pressure him out. Peer pressure that individual out because they don't fit the culture, okay? Very important. Number 7, Hold people accountable to that culture, okay? If you see people slacking, you hold them accountable. You talk about that. You get private conversations with them and let them know, hey, this is not what we do. We have X, Y, and Z in this company. We need this, this, and this done. So you have to hold people accountable. Do not let a poisonous apple into the room, because that poison apple will destroy a whole bushel of apples, okay? Very important to understand that. Number 8, empower people, okay? And do not let ego get in the way. You want to have a great culture? Empower people. Don't worry about ego. There's a lot of ego. Listen, you want to ruin the culture? Let ego get into the way. Ego with leaders, ego with your people, pride, all this bullshit. It's not going to work. Trust me, I made these mistakes. It's much better to have a culture that you guys are all uplifting each other, talking positive about each other, edifying each other, right? One of the biggest values that I have in my company, right, is, and until this day, we do not allow gossip. If you have a problem, you're going to speak about it openly. You have a problem with Bobby? Go ahead. Bobby, come here. Joey, come here. Go ahead. Talk about the problem out loud in front of me. Oh, there's no problem? Perfect. There should be no problem. But if you have a problem, you're going to come in front of me and the person, and you're going to tell them the problem. Why would you talk behind their back? Tell it to their face. You don't like something? Tell them. Work it out. Hash it out. And I'm the mediator. And guess what? That's when everything gets resolved. Boom, no issues. But you have to understand that you cannot let ego get into the way of your business, because guess what happens when you have ego? You cannot make a lot of money and ego at the same time. You cannot fill your ego and fill your pocket at the same time. One of my mentors told me that. So you got to remember, remove ego, you make a lot of money. Or you can be filled with ego and be broke as a joke. You choose the battle. You choose which one you want. Okay? I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you want to build a culture of winners and you need some help, DM me, right? But I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next video.